Welcome SATS Busters to question 5, and this one's all about temperature. And temperature is a very common way in SATS tests of testing whether or not you know how to use negative numbers. So it says, here are the temperatures in 4 cities at midnight and at midday. We've got Paris, Oslo, Rome and Warsaw. All of those cities are in Europe. Now the first part of the question says, at midnight, how many degrees colder was Paris than Rome? Now with a question like this, you're always given a table of information. Now we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of information there. But we are unlikely to need all 8 pieces of information. So it's very important that we choose which bits of information we're actually talking about. Now straight away, this question is talking about midnight, so we need to be looking at the midnight column, and we need to pick out the 2 cities we're talking about, which is Paris and Rome. So Paris is minus 4 degrees and Rome is 3 degrees. Now remember, on a number line, if you've got 0 and then you're going up to 3, that is a gap of 3 degrees. And if you're going from 0 down to -4, 0 down to -4 is a gap of 4 degrees. So if you want to find the total gap, that's 4 degrees plus 3 degrees, you need to put these two together. So that's 7 degrees. So the answer to the first part of the question is 7 degrees. The gap from -4 to 0 is 4, and then from 0 on to 3 is another 3. So 4 plus 3 gives us the 7 degrees. That's the answer to the first part of the question. For the second part of the question, it says, which city was 6 degrees colder at midnight than midday? So we basically need to find the differences between the temperatures in all the cities. So Paris goes from -4 to -2. Now that doesn't cross over 0, so we're basically, both of those numbers are on the same side. They're both colder than 0. So from -4 to -2 is just simply a gap of 2 degrees. Oslo is -13 and -7. Again, both of those temperatures are below 0. So the gap between -13 and -7 is going to be 6 degrees. Rome, they are both above 0. So the gap from 3 to 10 is 7 degrees. Now Warsaw is the trickier one. That's got a midnight temperature of -6 and a midday temperature of 2. That's either side of 0. So -6 is below 0 and 2 is above 0. So we've got to be careful. So we might need to use another little number line to help us with this one. So 0 up to 2 would be a gap of 2, and 0 down to -6 would be a gap of 6. And 6 plus 2 would give us a total gap of 8. So that is a gap of 8 degrees, and that is actually the biggest one. But the question does say which city was 6 degrees colder at midnight than midday, and if you check these gaps, the one that's got 6 degrees colder is Oslo. So Oslo is the answer that we need to write in there.